Good morning. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try and get my Yasmin on my FaceTime. Good morning, Leslie. Okay, maybe Yasmin isn't home. There she is.
Hello.
Hi. I had all kinds of little technical difficulties, and my phone is almost dead. Okay, but I found a cord. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And there's Yasmin having lunch, and I'm having coffee. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. And we're waiting for our special guest. Good morning, Allie. So, we are going to have a very fun guest, and maybe you can let me know when Jill is here, because it's, yeah. Oh, there's Candace. There's Shannon. All right, I'll let you do that. Anyway, I'm very excited to have a special guest, Dr. Jill Todd. She's my business partner in Jill Joan Healing, and we have really great hemp extract products, and we also have acupressure courses and all sorts of things. So we'll talk a lot more about that. If you're new to me, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, speaker, author, and founder of Communication with All Life University. And I needed this sip of coffee. I've been racing around all morning. Anyway, we have a really fun live today. So, is Jill on?
Not yet. Jill, if you've come on, just comment in the comment section so that Joan can add you.
I'm going to give you her phone number. In case she's struggling. Okay, wait, let's see. Who is that? Okay. Well, she's not here yet, but I have plenty to talk about always. Let's see. We had an amazing virtual retreat. And we did the first day was animal communication. The second day was death, dying, and beyond, an intro to it. And then the third day was lost animals. And for those of you that are doing the retreat, that have done a little bit of animal communication going in, like I saw Durga is here, you'll get, if you don't get it at the spring intensive, you'll get it at the fall intensive. But everybody gets the opportunity to do a lot of this type of work. Anyway, it was a few people, brave souls, that jumped into it, and it was just really beautiful, really, really, really beautiful. And I have some pictures of all the animals that we talked to that had crossed over, and I know that was such a big theme last month, and so I will be posting this little memorial for all the animals that were communicated with. Excuse me. And yeah, it was just very, very powerful. And anyway, yeah, Shannon, you have to send me a picture of Professor Riley, because he was definitely in there. So it's, yeah, we have the spring intensive coming up, and in that we will be doing animal communication for 3 days, EFT for animals for 3 days, and animal communication and healing in sanctuaries. So there's all kinds of amazing opportunities for growth. And there's, you know what, the young ravens, the new baby ravens are out in flight school. I'm sorry, I get so distracted by my wildlife TV here. Anyway, so what, is Jill on? No.
She is not on. Not sure. I'm touching base with her on chat, so you carry on and then
Okay.
just chat with her.
Okay, so anyway, we have the spring intensive coming up, and then there's Jill. Okay, and then all kinds of things. Let's see.
Yeah, she's there, so you can invite her on now.
There we go.
Let's just say a quick prayer to Facebook.
She's the only person that I can't add. There we go. Approve. Adding. Ta-da! There she is.
Sorry, I had to hold it sideways. There we go.
Yes.
There.
Good morning. I made it. I was like, somehow, poof, we're here. Hey, I'm in California.
Hey, I'm in Washington. All right. Well, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. The reason that I wanted to talk to Jill today is, well, there's a million reasons, but I just wanted to say that she is an amazing holistic veterinarian, and she does acupuncture, cold laser. She does lots of, she does the, is it VOM chiropractic?
Right, VOM, veterinary orthopedic manipulation, which is a chiropractic manipulation way that I was trained, and then I kind of went off on my own, adding the meridians through there. So, but yeah, it's a chiropractic type of therapy. I love it.
Did amazing things for my Olivia. And then what else? And she's fun. And she's my business partner in Jill Joan Healing. And we have a company that has hemp extracts for dogs and cats and horses. And then we also have a million acupressure classes that Jill is teaching. And they are fantastic. And I'm going to say something about that real quick, because for me, I had taken acupressure a million years ago, and it was very confusing the way it was taught to me, although I retained, there's certainly, Jill knows I have my favorite points, and there's a lot to it that I remember, but there was a lot that I didn't, and I don't feel like I was educated on. So I wanted to say that as much as it's fun to sit in your own house and do energy work or animal communication remotely, there is nothing like putting your hands on an animal and seeing that shift. And that, I feel like, is the beauty and the simplicity of the acupressure courses, because they really are kind of an energetic body work, if you will. So anyway, I wanted to We have so many topics, and so I wanted to start with just how did you get interested in holistic medicine? You were a Western medicine vet in Texas, and what drew you to holistic medicine?
My dog Tally Ho, who was a Rhodesian Ridgeback, had a back injury, and she was going down, and she wasn't paralyzed, but she was heading that way. And I did the traditional Western medicine thing. I got an MRI done. They said, yeah, I think that we can make her better with back surgery. So she had back surgery, and she came home, and she never got better. As a matter of fact, she got a little bit worse. And I was desperate to find something to help my Tally Ho because she wanted to walk, and I wanted her to walk again. And I was very lucky to live near Austin, Texas. There was a veterinarian that had just moved down from New York City who was working at AMC. She had been teaching, and she has more degrees and diplomas on her wall than I even have walls. I mean, she's board certified in surgery, oncology surgery, but she also did a lot of Eastern medicine. She did chiropractics. She did herbs, acupuncture, and I came up there, and she showed me the points. She drew a little map. She showed me how to put them on Tally Ho. She gave me a box of needles. She gave me a list of where I could buy some more needles, and said, okay, do this for 3 days a week for 2 weeks, and then do it for 2 days a week for 2 weeks. And by the end of 2 weeks, she was getting up. By the end of 4 weeks, she was walking. By the end of 8 weeks, she was running up and down steps. And I had no idea what I was doing. I was just putting the needles in the little map the way she showed me how to do it. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I don't know. One, I was like, why did I not find this before I did surgery, right? You know, that was always my first thought. And then after that, it was like, I don't have any clue what I'm doing, but I must learn this, because whatever I just did for this dog, I must be able to do for others. And eventually I went, you know, back to school, went to acupuncture school, and Tally Ho was my lead dog. She showed me how to do that. I gave her almost 4 years that I wouldn't have been able to give her without acupuncture. And acupuncture was my way into the Eastern world. After acupuncture, then I did chiropractics. I wanted something else, and then I started doing herbs, and, you know, just started doing more and more as far as what can I do to help the body heal itself, because the Western medicine certainly didn't help her, but the Eastern medicine made an amazing difference in her life and my life because of that.
And so many other people's and animals' lives.
Yeah, I have so many clients that it seems like 3 is the magic number. It's like, you gave my dog 3 years. You gave my dog 3 years. I mean, just people seem to come to me at the end after they've tried everything else, which was the same thing that I did. Now, people are coming to me before that. They're coming to me for rehab. They're coming to me for maintenance. I mean, it's really beautiful that it's not just an end of life experience, that it's a maintenance of life. And that's what I try and tell people, is this is really maintenance and maintaining your animal by energetics.
Yeah. And it goes, you know, I think that one of the challenges with what I consider to be a consumerism society is we look at things like, oh, there's got to be a pill for this, or certainly a quick surgery, and then we aren't getting to the root cause of things. We aren't really looking at what else could be done. And unfortunately, there's a lot of money to be made off of that. And it's such a mindset that is, it's just everywhere, whether it's, you know, the parents don't want to get involved with the teaching of the student, or, you know what I mean? Like, they expect the teacher to do it. So we have so many ways that we put off, did you want to come up, Delilah? That we put off, come on, that we put off actually healing or teaching or whatever it is. And yet the beauty is getting down to, you know, the root cause and allowing it to blossom, if you will. All right, someone's going to sit with me, for crying out loud. Abby, did you want to come up? Anyway, here I am begging my dogs. They keep licking my ankle.
There we go. Vixie Elizabeth has volunteered.
Okay. So one of the things that I love, like, Olivia is certainly a also someone that you helped, that you kept going, and definitely my dog when I lived up in the Seattle area. And then, so from there, you moved up to Seattle. And then we stalked each other.
Yeah, I moved up around 2007, which is around the same time that you moved back. I sold my practice in Texas. I felt like I really wanted to do more east and less west, and where I was living, it was just really hard for me to get as much Eastern medicine clients. They're just the mindset where I wasn't as open as this area. My brother lived in the Seattle area, and I used to come up here at Christmas and in the summer, and just absolutely loved the time I spent here. So I was like, what's a better place? This area is so open to Eastern medicine, and everyone here loves their animals. I mean, it's so great. I mean, animals are people too. I mean, these are our kids, and you know, the majority of my clients, that's just the way they feel. Whereas in Texas, I had a lot of, it's just the dog, you know, and I'd be like, no, it's not. So it was just a great migration for me to come up here. And then I was getting introduced to people, and one of the first people that I met was Joni Sarita, who's a body worker, and she's like, you need to meet Joan Ranquet. And I'm like, who's this Joan Ranquet, right? You know, and she came and did a reading on some horses at a barn that I was boarding at, and I kind of stalked her from behind, pretending I was cleaning my tap and kind of eavesdropping at the same time, listening to what she was saying about the horses she was talking to. And I was just like, this is interesting. I need to learn more about this. So that was how we officially met.
Yeah. And I had already stalked you, so I knew who you were when I was there talking to horses. But yeah, I'd always wanted to work with Jill. So, and once we became friends and you came to classes, it was definitely, you know, we knew we wanted to do something bigger together. So I feel like Jill and Joan is the golden child of that. And what I have so many things I want to talk about. So one of the things I want to say is actually Jill is going through the big program right now. And do you feel like that adds anything to your what you're doing and what you will be doing?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I started to get involved in it, 10 years ago, whenever we first met, I guess 12 or 15 now. And, you know, I did some of the weekend workshops, and I really wanted to learn more about communicating, but it just didn't fit into, you know, my life schedule. So now finally I'm getting to be able to do that. And what I've been doing with my patients when they come in here, you know, with COVID, I just am sitting on the floor with dogs all day working on them, and I can tell they're trying to talk to me, like they want to tell me something that I'm working on. So you know, I'm starting to use my animal communication, where I'm just like finding that nice quiet space and then letting him actually talk to me, and it's helping me be a better practitioner, because instead of just working on the places that I have been informed and feel energetically, they're actually able to say, hey doc, my belly kind of hurts too, you know, so I can put some needles that will be appropriate, use the laser that would be appropriate, talk to mom or dad about diet, probiotics, dynamite products, things like that, just to, you know, work on things that obviously I wouldn't know unless I asked. So it's an adjunct to what I'm already doing as far as being a, you know, a great energetic body healer, because I can communicate with the animals and they can tell me exactly or partially what they want or need.
And what's cool, you just went through AC level 1 and now you're in the medical intuition part, and you'll go through that again, but it's really great that, you know, you're going to be able to palpate, scan, you know, it's going to be really cool.
It's like the best of all worlds, right? I mean, I just can't see it getting any better than that. Yeah. It's like all of these things just come together, and it just makes me that much better at what I'm doing, and I can help so many more animals and help so many people with their animals.
Yeah, especially when you do the EFT again and you'll do it at the spring intensive. You're going to be the vet that everybody wants to go to. You'll be so busy that I'll be like, Hey, wait, what about Jill and Joan? But anyway, let's talk about Jill and Joan. So we started with some hemp products, but we knew we wanted to go further. And like Ellie at the Gentle Barn always says that she can't believe that how many hemp products she's tried and how amazing ours are. Maybe you could talk a little bit about what people don't understand about like the ECS system. What is an ECS system? And maybe you could share a little bit about why this.
Why it's so hard to say ECS, the endocannabinoid system. It's so, it just doesn't run off your tongue so well. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. The more I learn about the ECS and the more I learn about hemp, and the more that we in our country and around the world learn how hemp is used, we find that it's not just CBD, it's CBG, it's CBA, it's flavonoids, it's, phytochemicals. There's so many things that are in there, and using the whole plant is what is, really maintaining the system. And the ECS is a system that's in the body, and I kind of look at it as a combination of all the systems. It puts all the systems together, but to me it seems like a combination mostly of the endocrine system and the just the nervous system, the central nervous system, and how it comes together. And by using hemp products, you actually, what you do is put your body back in homeostasis. So not only is it helping with what they've found in animals, and they've actually tested in animals for pain and inflammation and seizures, but they're finding that it's helping with things like IBD, PTSD, so many emotional things, because there's so many receptors in the brain. And one of the things that Joan and I learned when we were studying the ECS together was that there's an ECS, there's an endocannabinoid receptor on every single cell in the mammalian body. And I was just like, what? Yeah. There's a receptor on every single cell. And I went through like how many billions of years of school, and no one ever told me this. I was appalled, absolutely appalled that like this was held from my education.
Yeah,
right?
There was a lot of cussing that day.
I think there was alcohol involved too at the end of the day, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but we went to hemp school, and we continue to, and Jill just did a whole workshop, and so we continue to study because it was taken out of the medical books in 1937. Hemp was used in everything across the world, in India, in China. I mean, people used it in India for reproduction. So we know then that it definitely would be part of the endocrine system. And people, yeah, I mean, it was used in everything. Every bit of medicine had
a little bit of hemp, for coughs, for headaches, for malaise. I mean, when we looked through all of the things that hemp was used for, we were just like, wow, no wonder CBD helps for that, and now it's called hemp extract, because it's not just the CBD, it's all of the other things that are in there that are from the plant that makes it such a great nutraceutical. Or it's not really a nutraceutical or an herb. They're trying to actually classify it, and FDA is trying to, do whatever they do as far as figuring out what they want it to be called. But yeah, I'm amazed. I take it every day. My dogs take it every day. I've got so many clients that whenever they start Jill and Joan, they're like the same thing as what Ellie said. It's just like, I've tried every single one, and this is like the best thing since sliced bread. I had a client that we did a little photo shoot, and she was just like, I'm a club member for life, because my dog loves it. Everything else that I tried just didn't work, and this is the remedy for him, because he gets so scared during fireworks and thunderstorms around here. We call it like Seattle Seahawks Day. Like anytime the Seahawks play, there's vicious fireworks everywhere, and she lives right in the middle of that. So she's like, hour before the game comes on, we get our CBD treats, and he's just happy as a lark. Now she said, instead of him getting scared, he hears the noise, and he's inquisitive and looks for it, but he doesn't run and hide and get under the bed and things like that. So she's just, she's just all over it.
Yeah, and I've noticed, I mean, I have a 33-year-old horse. So 3 years ago, she seemed more lame, more, she's got a hitch to her giddy up, but she's got a little bouncy trot now. It's pretty cute. And I remember the first week she was on the Jill Joan hemp extracts, she had.
I remember calling me. Gabrielle's doing yoga.
Yeah.
She's out here sticking under her leg, and her legs here, and her arms here. And
easy.
she's twisted up and happy as a clam.
Yeah. And then, so we went from having the hemp products. In COVID, we'd always wanted to have some classes, and I thought that they would be like a hands-on thing that would happen after one of the intensives. But instead, we went a little crazy. You've been amazing. You've been like the energy putting together all these classes. The first one was intro to acupressure and meridian touch healing. And we're running that one again in a week, next Thursday.
Yeah, it starts next week on Thursday evening. We're going to run it. This is our first time we're going to run it on the evening, so that'll be nice. 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for people who work or different time zones. So I'm real excited to offer a night class so that people can come from other places and join us. And the first class, you know how you always have like kind of your first baby. I mean, we created that during COVID because, you know, students needed some hands-on. I mean, and I, you know, my business went to like zero, not totally zero. I mean, I still had some end-of-lifers and stuff, but, you know, we didn't know what was going on. So it gave me this great avenue to be creative and put this together for people and try to figure out how to teach people how to do a touch and to feel, because it's the feeling of the energy and the touching of the, either touching yourself or your animals, like how to do that on Zoom, you know? And it was really fun because it was like, I know if I can find and teach people to find a point on themselves, but then they can find it on their animal. And that's what's been really amazing, because not only are they able to help their animal, but they're able to help themselves by using these points. We had people who I had a migraine for 3 days, one girl said. And we did the 1 point and she was just like, oh my God, like my migraine is gone. Like that, I've been taking medicine, I've been sleeping, I've been doing all sorts of everything. And I was just like, oh, I mean, that's just amazing.
One of the things that also, you know, Jill lives in Kirkland, which is where the first COVID cases were. So it was really, you know, talk about scary and lockdown. And so, and nobody knew. I mean, I still think nobody knows. But anyway, so there was that aspect to it. First of all, my students have to have electives. They have to learn a body work and an energy work. And so this was perfect as far as like, here's a body work. And then on top of it all, we weren't getting together for the spring intensive. We weren't getting together for the fall intensive, where we do a lot of hands-on work. And so it was the perfect way to be able to, acupressure is the perfect way to basically show energy work. I mean, it's an energetic body work. It's not just a body work, and it's not just energy. And, you know, I say this all the time, that animals hold all their emotions and their entire life story in their bodies, right? Like I can call up Jill and say, that jerk, he blah, 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 right? And by the time I'm done with the phone conversation and maybe the glass of wine, I'm over it. And then I could also go to a therapist. There are so many ways that I can let go of a story, EFT. But animals, their story and their emotions are locked in their body unless they have a good outlet, like exercise. And we'll touch on that in a minute. Or, you know, it's still a trauma can be locked in their body. So when you start to you know, you can sit and do all the energy work from Zimbabwe in the world, right? Like you could be really far away and doing remote energy work, but it's never going to be quite what putting your hands on an animal is going to do. And that's where I can't say enough about the acupressure classes. Then we did the meridian touch, and now we're doing, we did 5 elements, and now we're doing um,
Yin and
yang,
yang.
and then you're gonna do some classes specifically on the organs.
Right. And the organs hold so much in the body, so that's really going to be fun. But yeah, I've been having just a ton of fun developing these classes. And like this last week, we did the conception vessel in our yin and yang class. And, you know, when you go to acupuncture school, you learn so many hundreds of points, and then you kind of use your favorite 17 or your favorite 20, you know, it seems like forever. Or if you have something weird come in, you'll kind of look something up. So it's just been really educational for me to look at all these conception vessel points again, because it's just like, I don't use them that much. Most animals are presented to me with their backs up and not their bellies up. So, you know, I don't use a lot of conception vessel points. So having those come back to me, then that makes me open, like, wow, I need to use these more in myself. I need to use these more in my animals. I might not be able to, you know, get needles in there as an acupuncturist, but I can certainly use the laser. I can certainly use my intentions. You can certainly use that just when you're, you know, we're talking about doing the CV sweep. And our group has been doing, you know, kind of experimenting and using our animals to do the CV sweep to see how that feels, because that's not something that's in the books the same way as, you know, my shoulder triangle and the hip quad. I mean, those aren't something that are in the books. Those are something that I've put together, because that's where I can really feel the energy, and I feel that people can open the energy and move energy, and I can make it in words so that people can do it and figure out how to do it. And you can feel so much. I mean, just amazing how you can just feel that energy, and your animals can feel it when you're working on them.
Yeah, it is feeling energy. And then when you go to do energy work remotely, you have a whole different concept because you felt energy. And it really, yeah, it's so powerful. But one of the things that we did years ago, I had put together this fitness. It was 42 days of fitness with your animal, and I had 42 days of videos or audios, or basically, yeah, a challenge for people to get fit with their animal. And we're revitalizing that. It's going to be 21 days, starting on March 20th. We're calling it spring training, and maybe you could talk a little bit about why fitness and is such an important part of well-being for an animal, and how much we have obesity in this country.
Oh, yeah. I see so many animals that are obese, and so many people that don't even realize that their animals are obese, which is even, you know, makes it even worse. But yeah, exercise for yourself and for your animals is so important, because it does move the energy around, gets rid of that stagnation. Even if you have older animals that can't do a whole lot, little bits, and doing lots of little bits is great. I know Joan does her religious dog hikes. I do as well with my dogs, and she runs around with her horses and moves her horses around, because, you know, the best thing in the world is to move every day. And the more often you do little bits, the better it is. So we decided that we'd kind of bring this alive, because I know I helped you do some things back in what, 2008 or 9 something.
And some of the videos are still really good, and so we've got we've made new ones, we've got the old ones. Yeah, it's a great little.
It's going to be really, really fun. We're going to have really fun prizes too. So we're really hoping to get everyone involved, and we're really trying to get some new people in there. We want to see some new faces. We want to see some new animals. We want to, you know, show what they're doing as far as moving around. If you have goals as far as you want to either lose a little bit of weight, or your cat Henry needs to lose a little weight, or I need to lose a little weight. Vixie Elizabeth put on a little bit over the holidays. We all, you know, have that holiday chunkiness. But if you want goals of losing weight, maybe it's not losing weight. Maybe it's just getting fit. Maybe it's just getting out there and doing something. What we want to do is try and get people out there so that they have intentions of improving, intentions of, I'm going to do something every single day. I'm going to move. I'm going to move with my animals, and we're going to have fun. I mean, you got to have fun, right? It's all about enjoying everything.
It's also, I mean, it's really bonding too when you set an intention with your animal. I know that for me, I've got 10 animals. So if I were to say that I was going to set an intention, well, this will be good. I would like to get, I've been lunging and long lining Drakkar. I'm going to set the intention with my horse trainer that I'm on him by the end of the challenge, the whatever 21 days after March 20th is, April whatever, and you'll be here.
Beginning of the intensive.
So that's right. So yeah, we'll have that be the last day. But my intention, you know, for my animals is always for their perfect health and well-being. But somebody might not even have a weight loss. They might actually have, maybe they came out of surgery and they need to rehab, or maybe they just know that, like I remember when I did this challenge in 2013, it was about, Olivia must have been about 11, and she was really starting to, you know, show signs of decline. She had you know, she was half border collie, but a quarter German Shepherd, and unfortunately ended up with those German Shepherd hips. And what, you know, just keeping her moving became so important. And that, I feel like that's even, you know, for the older animals, it's just as important to include them in our intentions as it is, you know, to lose weight off of a young dog. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the ones that are older, a lot of people just let them be couch potatoes, right? And they go out and they potty, and that's it. And it's like you're creating a little bit of a stagnant monster there, because the less they move, the less they want to move, you know, and then they start to gain weight. They have problems with their metabolism. So, you know, even if they can't do a whole lot, I mean, obviously we're not wanting them to go out there and run a marathon or anything, but moving, getting them out and moving. I do a little, you know, I live in Washington, so when it's really cold and rainy and gross and stuff, we march in the house. We do a little marching. We have a parade around the living room, around the kitchen, you know, and we move. And then when it finally stops raining, you know, too hard that we can go out, we'll go out and play. But, you know, you don't have to always, you know, make it a huge, big 3-mile hike. I mean, every little bit is important, and make sure that you have good solid habits of doing more and lots of little bits.
When I lived in Seattle, and you know, I like my sunshine, I still every single day, no matter what, we were out, we did our hike, we did a mini hike on my jump rope days, and we did the big hike just like I have here. I have those fire roads. I had all those roads. So we were out no matter what the weather was, and we usually were the first tracks in the snow when it snowed. And yeah, I had every type of rain gear there was for me and the dogs, and we did it. So I just think, even especially because Olivia, you know, was getting older, it was so important that we all moved every day.
Absolutely. Got to get out, got to move. And sometimes you just have to make yourself do it. It's like, we're going to do it. It's on the schedule. We're going to do it.
We have winds here that are like, you know, in Florida, I remember the wind, it was called a hurricane. We have this, I mean, like once a week, and we're still out. Sometimes I think I should be going in ski goggles so that nothing hits my eyes, but yeah, we go out, we do it. Yasmin, does anyone have any questions or comments or observations?
There are a lot. Super, super interesting. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to start, to be quite honest, because people are asking so many different things, you know, from interesting questions about your CBD products and where you source CBD and what it helps with besides pain. And then just really lots of other comments about what you're talking about. I'm looking if they, well, would you like to address the CBD question about where you saw?
Yeah, I'll let Jill talk about that one.
Help with pain?
One thing other than pain that the hemp extracts help with is inflammation, and almost everything has inflammation, a component of inflammation, whether it's the digestive stuff. Yeah, so that everybody has some form of inflammation, so it already starts to help there. I mean, we have so many inflammatory diets by accident, you know.
And that's one of the things that we found out when we first were, you know, learning about CBD with our bodies and our cats. And Joan always is famous for saying, yeah, if you give your cats CBD, they're going to crap a lot. Be ready to clean out the box, because almost all of ourselves and our animals, because of all the toxins in our bodies and in our foods and stuff, have some form of like an IBD or inflammation in the bowels. And just getting rid of that inflammation, they evacuate, right? So you're going to see, you know, normal stool, but it's just going to be coming through a little bit faster until they reach an equilibrium. That first day or two is just like you got the poos, right? You know, and it's hempy poo because it smells a little hempy too when it comes through. But yeah, I mean, CBD is so great for so many things: anxiety, inflammation, any or most types of issues that have any kind of pain involved, neurologic issues. They're finding, you know, actually the first chemical or pharmaceutical that came through CBD is for children who have refractory seizures. And, you know, I've been using it for seizures in dogs and cats, dogs mostly, like forever, in adjunct with Western medication, and trying to get them off Western medication, or if you catch them early, getting them on it before they need or start Western medication. So, you know, I just think it's vitamin H for hemp instead of like what we're thinking it's CBD or hemp extract. I mean, I really think it's something that the body needs as a way to combat all the stresses in life, whether they're emotional, physical, toxins, you know, all the toxins in the environment. I mean, it just really helps to keep your system at a nice homeostasis.
Yeah.
And then as far as sourcing, right now, where we're getting our hemp from is a place in Las Vegas. We're actually in pursuit of finding some other sources as well. Right now, we've got the pet chews, which are a chewable treat, and then we have the hemp pellets, which were made basically for horses, but I take them too. I absolutely love them, and I think that I've tried a bazillion different kinds of hemp products, and I always come back to those pellets. And what they're finding, whenever I did a 4-hour seminar on cannabinoids through the Washington State VMA, and what they said they are finding now that we're able to do all these studies is that the edibles do tend to do a better job. And I've always said that that's the way I've felt with them, because with the oils, it seems like you don't keep it in your system as long. And it's just with the edibles, it's like you reach this homeostasis and you always have it in your system. And I think that you keep it in your system so that you just have that normal feeling and you don't have kind of the up and downs as it wears off.
Anything else, Yasmin? Because we're coming to the almost the end. This was really fun.
Yes. Do I give CBD oil to them as drops in the gums? How do I give it to him? I'm not sure if that's clear. Is it clear for you?
Say it again.
Do I give CBD oil to them, a drop in the gums? How do I give it to him? Well, the oil, I guess. She's talking about Donna.
She's asking about oils. Do you give it to them in their on their gums or in their?
Oh, give it to them in their gums or under their tongue for absorption.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some people will put it on treats. A lot of horse people will put oil on like a sugar cube before they're getting ready to get on. Give that to them as they're tacking up.
Cool.
And we can definitely, Jill and I can go back through the questions this afternoon too. So if you have a question and it doesn't get answered, or you have a question and you haven't typed it in, please feel free to type it in, because we meet every Tuesday at 3:15, and we can, once we go over some of the main business stuff, we can spend a few minutes going over answering questions. So please feel free to ask questions, and we'll put our we have a Facebook group where we're going to have the challenge. It's Jill and Joan Healing. So maybe people can go on and like our page.
I can put it in the comments.
Okay.
I'll put it in the comments now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jill and Joan.
Yeah, and we'll announce more about the upcoming spring training, and we'll also have information about we'll put the acupressure class in here. But it's been really fun, Jill. Normally a lot wackier. We were pretty well behaved.
I don't think I cussed.
No,
did
not
I?
yet.
I still can't.
And we have several classes. We have digital. Isn't the Meridian, the 5 elements is a digital class?
The 5 elements, and then the energetic anatomy, which is really fun. Especially if you need a little bit of anatomy as you're learning to do animal communication, or maybe a reminder. It kind of puts the East and the West together in anatomy as far as the energetics and the meridian systems, and how they all come together. And that actually goes along with the endocannabinoid system, because all of these systems energetically work together. So it's really fun to see how all of those things work.
Yeah, it's a great class.
And because we're in it, it makes you laugh, because we just have fun together.
Wacky. Okay, I'm trying to think. Yeah, so we've got several things with Jill and Joan, and then we've got the hemp extract. So hopefully, if you'll give it a shot, you'll want to try our chews, our pet chews, or our horse pellets. And Jill and I eat the horse pellets, so just so you know.
My boyfriend eats them too.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's good. And so I encourage you to go over and like our page, and we will keep you informed about the upcoming challenge, because I think it's going to be really fun to do it, to be together. And, health goals or intentions don't have to be about, getting to the marathon or getting Vixie Elizabeth in a bikini body. But
She already has a bikini body.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, we need a bikini for Vixie Elizabeth.
Oh
anyway, yeah, so
Bro.
So thank you for joining us, and remember, we've got the spring intensive coming up, and if you've got questions about the school, that's you can reach out to Shannon at info@joanranquet.com. And so April 9th through the 17th is the spring intensive, and I know that Ellie was saying to me the other day she can't believe it's already here. So I know that several of you that are here will be joining us. So we will be seeing.
Yeah, a month away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Tons of comments, guys. You've got to go through.
We'll go through them.
later.
Okay. Bye.
Perfect.